When I saw that Weymouth had advertised this paperback book sale to support the library, this is great. There are books I haven't read yet. And I brought my list, and I filled in a few holes. Now I have about 10 books here.
What can you tell me what some of them were from memory?
Oh, I bought wonderful cookbook from Situate. I do love cookbooks, and there's always something in them. So I got a couple of cookbooks. I bought some Nora Roberts because I haven't read her yet, and she's been recommended to me. So I am going to pack them in my suitcase for my vacation so that I don't read them before I go, because I read about a book a day.
Why do you love to read so much?
I've always read. When I was a little girl growing up in Weymouth, they had this section in the children's library with biographies, and they were fascinating. I can still to this day tell you where they were and how they were covered and what I read, because one of the books I read there was Abigail Adams' biography in the kid version, and it was just great. So I've never stopped.
How do you find the time to read, or how do you quiet down your life?
I read about 100 pages an hour, so it's not hard. And I get up. I'm a morning person, so I'm the first one up, and I have to be a little quiet in the house while everybody else is sleeping. And so I usually have about 2 hours there to read. I have a Kindle, and I've used that mostly for when I'm studying genealogy, because I find that fascinating, because there are stories there to be read. And I use the computer to go online and reserve books at the library.
Yeah.
Growing up, the children, the first one, of course, the first child gets all the good books, but then I saved them. The second child had a different taste in reading, so he saved all those. Then the boy came along, and he had a totally different reading taste, so we had a house full of books for the kids growing up. And I read to them every night, which was a nice, close, cuddle-up time for us. And then they just took off on their own. They're all readers.
I could call this interview with a book lover.
My husband calls me a bibliophile. My husband's name is Mark Duff.
Does he read? Or does
he is a reader. He likes to read about generals of World War II and the admirals. He finds their leadership tidbits very interesting, because he's the fire chief in Hingham. Well, for all these books, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's about, I'd say, 20 books here, and I paid $5.
Amazing, huh?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's heaven. And when I'm through reading them, I will pass them on to my girlfriend, and she in turn will pass them on to someone else.